Buckle up today, kiddos, because what I'm teaching on today, I've learned is the common perspective that women who are earning multi seven figures a year, women who are hosting multi 100-person events around the world, and women who have thousands of clients across the globe are all having in common. It is this one perspective shift, and we're going to get into the nitty gritties of it in this episode today.
Welcome to The Walking Trophy. The Walking Trophy is a podcast for high-level entrepreneurs and performers who know they were built for more. On this podcast, we explore how movement, fitness, and embodied discipline sharpen your leadership, regulate your nervous system, and expand your capacity to create, serve, and lead at the highest level. Through conversations on performance, energetics, and purpose-driven success, this show reframes the body as your greatest asset for sustainable power, abundance, and impact. Welcome to The Walking Trophy.
Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I couldn't be happier that you're here. And to be honest, I don't think you could be happier that you're here today, because what I'm spilling for you today is the full tea. This is the success tea, if you will, because I'm going to give you the full scoop on the women who are achieving the craziest milestones that you look at them from the outside and you go, holy shit, how is she doing that? Oh my God, she achieved that massive success again. What is her secret? I'm exposing it today. And it's not because I'm just imagining this is what she does. It's because I actually personally sat down with her and I figured out, oh, this is exactly what she does. So to introduce you to this perspective, I'm going to start with a story. The year is 2025. Yes, this past year. The year is 2025. And I have made a commitment to myself this year that I'm going to put myself in the room more. This was introduced to me by my business mentor, and she talked about the power of getting in the room with the women who are where you want to be. It is having the conversations. It is seeing how they move, seeing how they think in person, and having these conversations. And one that was really helpful because when I put myself in these rooms, which I did so much of in 2025, that's a whole other episode, is I was normalizing myself being in these spaces, which again, that's a whole other episode that I genuinely cannot wait to get in with you guys. But the other thing is, when I put myself in these rooms and in these spaces with people who are achieving the financial success that I strive to, people that are achieving the volume of impact that I strive for, and people that have the level of persuasion, the level of influence over a room that I aspire to so greatly as somebody who plans to be a keynote global worldwide speaker, like, hi, that's what we've claimed for 2026. Having these conversations and being in the room with these women genuinely opened my eyes to perspective shifts that almost seemed so obvious when I heard them, but when they said it, I understood it on a deeper level. So that is exactly what I want to share with you today, because when I decided to put myself in the room, there was one room in particular where the conversations changed me fundamentally as a human being forever. And that was Costa Rica, which happened in October of 2025. So pretty recent. And while I was there, though I say recent, it feels like I've lived 1,700 lifetimes since then. Because once you do one quantum leap, the rest kind of just spiral as a result because you understand the formula a little bit better. So when I was in Costa Rica, it was not just me speaking on an international stage, though that was the bomb diggity. I absolutely loved it. It was also because I was a speaker, I was also a VIP at the event. So I got to have conversations with other women who were VIPs at this event. And this event, again, it was in a foreign country for most people. Some people were from Costa Rica. It was in a foreign country. It was at a bougie resort. The tickets were not cheap. And the women that were showing up were women that were making 6, 7, and 8 figures. And they wanted to expand themselves. The conversations in these rooms, the speakers at this event, the entire vibe, if you will, around this conference was, this is the best of the best women in the industry. Come one, come all, if you feel like this is your standard and this is the level that you play at. And so you can imagine the type of women that this event attracted. And I will tell you, the potency of the conversations and the level of depth that we were able to get into at this event was absolutely second to none. But it really was the meals that we had together that brought so much insight and clarity and breakthrough to me understanding how people at this level are functioning. And so while I was there, I was really taking advantage of intentionally spending my energy and intentionally spending my time to have conversations with women who I was like, I genuinely love and admire you. I'm so grateful that we get to converse because your energy is very authentic to me. And I want to learn from your perspective because I truly, from a very genuine, authentic place, admire what you have created. And greatness leaves clues. Greatness leaves a path behind it. And I knew that if I wanted to achieve similar levels of greatness, but obviously with my own filter, my own spin on it, then that would mean talking to these particular women. And so while I was in Costa Rica, I remember this one dinner specifically. It was a VIP dinner. And I was sitting next to these two women. One of them is actually one of my mentors now. She's my speaking mentor. And the other one was a woman who was speaking on a 7-figure panel at the event. She was a 7-figure business owner and she was on a panel so that she could share her expertise with the women at the event. And so as I was sitting across from this one woman who has built a speaking empire that I love so much and obviously admire as I am a part of it and became a part of it, and as I'm sitting next to this other woman who I did not know prior to this event, but she'd told me about all of the things that she'd accomplished, and I was just so inspired by it. I asked both of them, I said, how do you manage taking on such newness, such scary big risks? How do you manage taking that on and persisting through it? Because again, I'm studying for myself, I'm studying for what I teach people, and I was curious what their perspective was. And I remember, I'll never forget it. The woman I was sitting next to looked at me and she said, well, I use fear as an indicator that I'm doing the right thing. I use fear as a compass for telling me, oh, this is scary. Okay, that's exactly the step that I'm supposed to take. Now, this was a bit of a paradigm shift for me because I used to think, oh, yes, you act in spite of fear. That's something that you hear about great athletes, about great leaders. It's like, yeah, it was scary, but I did it anyway. It's a very common narrative. That's not what she was saying. She wasn't saying, oh, yeah, I took the scary risk and I did it anyway, but damn, was it, frightening? Damn, was it intimidating? She said, no. As soon as I felt the fear, that was my indicator that it is exactly what I had to do. She was not acting in spite of fear. She was embracing the fear with open arms and saying, yes, this is how I know this is what's going to move me in the right direction. This is how I know that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Because if it scares the living shit out of me, then I know that that is where my expansion lies. And that was the key lesson that just changed everything for me. Because again, it wasn't, I'm going to do this even though I'm scared. It was, oh, I'm scared. Hell yeah, that's why I should do it. And it comes full circle back around to the idea that you can only change if you are challenged. You're not going to change. You're not going to expand. You're not going to quantum leap by doing the same old things, feeling comfortable the whole time doing it, and making it a really fully only enjoyable experience. You're going to expand. You're going to grow because your paradigm, your belief system, your physical vessel, whatever it is, something in your life has been challenged significantly. And you have to start thinking in a different way to problem solve. You have to start acting in a different way to create new solutions. You have to start treating your body in a different way to be able to find your way through whatever this challenge is. You have to quite literally level up to the identity, to the version of you that is capable of taking on this challenge or of navigating it. Because the level of mind that you're at right now, the consciousness, the physical condition, that isn't going to be able to get on the other side of this challenge. When you are challenged, it forces you to change. Challenge forces you to change. And so these women know this. They understand this concept on a cellular level. And so, because they know that nobody changes if they're not challenged, and because they know that they have a higher level that they're trying to achieve, and because they know that the only way to get to that level is to grit through some mud, to grit through some resistance, to grit through some stickiness, they have developed a relationship with fear and with intimidation, where it's not something they have to work alongside. It's something that they get to embrace with their full body, and they get to use it as their indicator that that is the exact step they're supposed to take. So this does a couple of things. One, it allows you to embrace challenge in a way where you are constantly growing and expanding because obviously you're following the feeling of challenge. You're quite literally trying to bring it into your world more because you know that you're going to change on the other side of it. That's amazing. It means you're taking a stretchy action more often, you're growing who you are very quickly. Another thing that it does, and I find this so helpful because I'm a very analytical girl and I'm a Libra, so I don't really like to make decisions. It's very difficult for me. What they allow themselves to do is use fear as the decision maker. They know if it makes them scared that that's the decision that has to be made. So it even takes away some of the cognitive effort, some of the mind drama around trying to figure out what the next best move is in business to get to the next income goal or volume goal or impact goal or whatever it is for them. They're using fear as the big green light above the decision that says, this is the one, choose this. You don't even have to think about it because the scary one, that's the one that you want to take. And so this was totally life changing for me because again, I knew that you were supposed to, do the scary thing and you'll get through it. But I never understood that fear is the money. Fear is the money ball. Fear is the thing that shows you exactly how to speed up the process, reduce the time to you getting to the version of you that you dream of becoming, to you getting to the results that you've been dreaming of in your manifestations, that you've been writing down in your journal, that you've been trying to bring into your 3D world through quantum leaps. It's fear. Fear is how you get there. Fear isn't something you just have to deal with. Fear is the answer. It's the answer to the test. If the multiple choice question has fear, you circle that one because that is the indicator that you're on the right path. So having this conversation changed the way that I would then go take action in the future. If there was an event, maybe it was a local meetup and I didn't know anybody and I felt hesitant and, my schedule is busy, whatever it is. But really, it was the fear of being in a new environment, fear of being perceived, fear of being seen, the fear of having to put myself in an environment where I might be uncomfortable, whatever it is. I knew when I felt that feeling of dread, that feeling of fear, that's the action that I had to go take. And so after I learned this for the rest of 2025, and now obviously heading into 2026, when I feel that fear, I go, oh, okay, now I know that's exactly what I have to do because it is the thing that I'm scared to do. And I know that I only change on the other side of the challenge, on the other side of the fear. So I use that as my indicator to take the action. This has significantly helped again in my decision making. It has significantly helped me put myself in more situations that I would have been too hesitant for to do before because obviously you don't want to do the scary thing. The scary thing has resistance. So once you change your relationship with how you view fear and you don't fear fear, but you embrace fear, but you actually create this incredible, appreciative, gratuitous experience around fear, you seek it, then that is how you quantum leap. That is how you put yourself in rooms with people where you don't know, maybe the person that's going to change your life is in that room. Or you put yourself in situations where you learn something that just fundamentally changes the way that you go about business forever. Because you put yourself in the scary situation and you got through it. And you either get, greeted with a reward for putting yourself in that room or whatever the situation is. Or in another case, when you do the scary action, you have to flex your resiliency muscles so much that you're a lot less scared of actions at that level moving forward. Because this is something my business mentor has been so open about, and it's been such a great conversation to hear her have, is she threw her first in-person conference this past year. This was the Costa Rica one, and she said that there was so much fear and so much challenge and so much stickiness and so much limitation, or excuse me, limiting beliefs to overcome in the process of putting it on, but she still did it, that when she got to the other side of this event, she said, "Okay, that's never going to be intimidating again because I've faced every challenge that I could. She said, putting on the first event, there were so many unknowns, but now that she's done it once, she's like, oh, easy. I could do it again. No problemo. So it took away the intimidation of an action that was once very scary. Which is great because now her threshold for challenge, her threshold for what she finds intimidating is way higher. So, this does two things. One, it helps you take that action that previously scared the shit out of you. It helps you take it at a much higher, more confident rate. So now she could easily throw an in-person event and it would be like so easy and she's still getting all of the amazing benefits out of it, which is, impacting lives, lead generation, bringing women together, all of the amazing things that in-person events do. So yes, it helps her put on these events at a greater level with a higher confidence now, but also listen to what I said earlier. It increased her threshold for what she viewed as challenging and what she viewed as scary. So now, because she's chasing fear and because she knows that her next evolution is on the other side of fear, she now has to take even greater action moving forward. And so, what that does is it forces her to grow and expand because now she has to move at an even higher level. If putting on the in person event before was the level that she was feeling fear at, and now that's not intimidating anymore because she's been there, done that, and she has the confidence in her skills to be able to execute it. She has to take an even bigger challenge next time, push herself out of her comfort zone more, and create, as a result, an even bigger impact because now she has to find that next big scary thing. And I can't speak for her, obviously. You go talk to her if you want to talk about what that is for her. But I know for me, in 2025, I used to be scared to just put myself in the room. I used to be scared to sign up for events. I used to be scared to talk to strangers and make friends because it was intimidating and it was new. But now I did that so many times in 2025 that simply putting myself in the room, it's not scary at all for me. At all for me anymore. And am I going to keep doing it? Hell yeah, brother, because the benefits and all of the incredible connections that I've gained as a result of putting myself in the room, I will continue to do that. But now, what would be scary for me is to go to a higher VIP level at these events, or to pitch myself to speak on the stages at these events, or to throw my own events, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That might be a little Easter egg. So now I know from my personal experience of evolving and changing my relationship with fear that if I want to find the next big scary action, it's going to require me to take bigger action. It's not just good enough for me to be in the room anymore. I need it to stretch me and I need it to make me more uncomfortable and I need it to intimidate me. So now I'm going to end up pitching myself on more stages, which means as a result, I'm probably going to speak on more stages. I'm going to, you know, maybe host an event or something along those lines. And maybe it starts small and maybe by the end of the year I'm hosting massive events because I have to keep stretching and I have to keep chasing the fear in order to evolve into the woman that I know I want to become with my full heart, with my full chest, with my full body. So fear is not just something that you're carrying with you and that you have to overcome in the process of getting to that next greatest evolution of you. Fear is actually your best friend in the journey. It's your compass, it's your North Star telling you where to go and what actions to take and how you are directly, precisely going to get to that next level. Because fear is not something you grit through. Fear is something you welcome with open arms. And as you evolve this relationship with fear and as you evolve how you view it, and as you continue to embrace it lovingly, you're going to find now it's easier to take the scary action. So as you move forward into 2026, actually screw that. As you listen to this episode right now, I want you to take out either a pen and paper or maybe the notes app on your phone, and I want you to write down 5 really scary, intimidating things that you could do this 2026. It could be an income goal. It could be something that you want to host. It could be something that you want to create. It could be a conversation that you want to have. Whatever it is to you, I want you to write down 5 intimidating, scary, almost ridiculous to say out loud goals. Things that would be incredible to achieve. And after you write them down, I want you to look at them and I want you to figure out how you're going to make it come true this year. And I don't care how scared you are. That's not something that is going to deter us anymore. It's something that we're going to go, oh, that's really scary. Okay, I guess I should start moving towards this now. The sooner you can practically apply this lesson of fear is my best friend, not fear is this little thing that's going to follow me through these challenges, the sooner you can actively process this new relationship, this new association with this emotion, the quicker you are going to quantum leap yourself. And that's why we're here. That's why you're listening to this podcast. Hello. You're not listening to the walking trophy because you want third place. You're listening to the walking trophy because you want to be the goddamn gold medalist. And obviously, that comes with taking the action that most people won't. You have to be atypical. You have to be illogical. You have to be unreasonable because that's the only way that you see the level of success that most people look from the sidelines and go, damn, what's your secret? Your secret is that fear is your best fucking friend. And you take her with you everywhere you go, and she tells you what to do, and you grit through it. You follow through. You are resilient as fuck through it every single time. And as soon as that becomes normalized, as soon as that becomes a standard, you search for fear again and you use her as your compass and you follow her wherever you go.